Hello, I'm Dr. Rosenblitt. I'm Medical Director of the Lucy Daniels Center, and I'd like to talk with you about some concerns and questions that we have heard repeatedly from parents over the years about the early intervention program. One question that many parents ask of us when they're considering the program is, will my child feel different being in a special class? Well, we thought about that in the beginning, and in 1991, we wouldn't have had a good answer. Well, we have an answer now. Most of the children that come to us have been having some difficulty. They may be having difficulty with friends. They may be having difficulty learning. They may be having difficulty with their behavior. There are things happening in their life that are already leading them to feel that maybe they're different. Maybe they're not as successful as they should be. Coming into our class actually turns that around. Look, they're 3, 4, and 5. They don't know one class from another. All they know is that this is a class that they're coming into where people really understand them, really care, and where they feel really successful in their academic and their social experiences. Children start to feel good. They start to feel pride in overcoming an issue. It's no different than a child that has a speech issue and goes to a speech therapist, and the speech therapist works with them, and they feel pride that they've had something in front of them and they've overcome that. This is what happens time and time again in the Lucy Daniels Center Early Intervention Program classrooms. Another question that parents have asked over the years is, will my child pick up negative behaviors from being in a classroom where there are a number of children that have negative behaviors? Well, I'm happy to say this is another concern that hasn't really developed into a problem. First of all, most of our children in the classroom don't have a particularly unusual number of negative behaviors. But when we do have negative behaviors that come up in a classroom, we always talk with children about it, not just the child that's having the issue, but with the other children as well. And when you do that, you help a child grow so that they don't copy the behavior and in fact feel more affirmed in their own good choices that they make. We assist children to identify with all the many good things that they all have to offer for each other. Yet another question that parents have raised is, what will happen when it's time for my child to leave the cozy Lucy Daniels Center with the small ratios and the very understanding teachers and go out into the big world of larger classrooms and less personal support? That was another one that we worried about in the very beginning, and another one that is just vaporized as just not really a concern. And what we've learned over the years is that the secret to getting along with a classroom of 6 or a classroom of 60 is being able to deal with 1 or 2 children at a time. That's all you ever deal with. And if you can really deal with 1 or 2 children, you can deal with 1 or 2 children in groups of 6, in groups of 15, or in groups of 25. Also, if you're emotionally competent and feel independent and ready to tackle the world, you can go from a classroom of 6 or 8 into a classroom of 18 without even blinking. We've found that time and time again that our children transition in a very seamless way. And the reason we know this is because we work with every single family here as they leave. We plan, we think with them about the ideal next placement for their child, and almost all our families come back that next year and let us know how things have gone. It really goes well. There's one last question, and this is a question that some families are afraid to think about, afraid to ask. Am I possibly going to be able to afford this? Is this an expensive program? It's a very expensive program. We have a lot of people working very hard with children. It's very individualized. There's small ratios and virtually no expense is spared. But we are also committed to making it possible for every child and family for whom it's the right match. We have scholarships available for children, and we ask families when the time comes at the end of an evaluation to join with us in looking at their financial capacities, and we ask families to pay what they can And then it's our job to raise the money to support children beyond that. It's very unusual for us to get to the point where we're having this financial discussion with a family and it doesn't work out in a mutually satisfactory way. That really has been very unusual. So what I would suggest, if you happen to be a parent that's watching this and thinking about the Lucy Daniels Early Intervention Program, I know it's hard to kind of put the money to a side and finances to a side. It's an issue for all of us. But try to do that. Try to have the confidence that if this is the right place for your child, then the rest will fall into place. If you have any questions about the Lucy Daniels Center, please give us a call. We'll be happy to talk with you on the phone. We'll be happy to meet with you and explore whether this is the right solution for your family and your child.